What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to episode number 114 of Living Your Shredder Life, Living the Shredder Life. I'm your host, Coach Jesse, and I'm joined tonight by another amazing, pretty recent addition, right, Breana? Pretty
Yeah, I
recent
started
addition
I
to.
started in 21.
Okay, so 21. So kind of recent, not new, but definitely newer, right?
Yeah.
Addition to Shredder Nation. And as you guys know, every week we're either dropping some sort of knowledge, whether it be healthy living, insulin, blood sugars, foods, something that we're touching on, or we're diving into another amazing story. So hopefully somebody who's out there who's like throwing their hands up in the air. They're like, that's it. I freaking give up. I can't do this. I don't know which way to go. Hopefully, you hear something from one of these amazing stories of people that are just like you, just like me. We've all been there, I think, at one point in our life until we haven't. And that's what we're hoping to give to everybody is that little bit of hope to let you know that maybe you've tried everything that you know, but unless you've tried this, I don't think you've tried anything, right, Breana?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've
Little
tried my
different.
fair share. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So let's for people that don't know, I know I met you a few weeks ago now on one of our Wednesday calls. I just loved your energy. I loved your story, and I was like, "Oh, there's got to be so much more to this." And that's me. I love to know people's stories, and that's what I do through health coaching and stuff. Is get to see this. So let everybody know who you are, where you're calling in from, and kind of share with us what kind of have you always been into nutrition? Have you tried to be healthy for a long time? Like what was life like before 21?
Yeah, so thank you first of all for having me, Jesse. I
Yeah,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure.
I am in sunny Island Heights, New Jersey. If anybody knows the show Jersey Shore, like
Yeah,
5 minutes away from the Seaside Heights Boardwalk. Um,
okay.
so I'm at my parents' house right now, just by the pool, hanging. And yeah, my story of weight loss is a huge journey. Since I was like 12,
Okay.
I battled with food. I grew up in an Italian household. So my weight, like when I was younger, I was skinny. I had like a really fast metabolism, and it wasn't until I got older, I noticed like puberty, my body
Gotcha.
start to like change as natural as it does, right?
Yeah.
But, growing up in a household of like pasta and carbs, all kinds of carbs, right? Pasta is like the number one. And then like
For
dessert
sure.
and everything, and just eating to live and not living to eat, right? So Italian
Mm,
cultures, food is a huge part of our culture.
yeah.
So it wasn't until like, high school, end of high school, college, that I started to like really take ownership and like conscious understanding of like what's going on with my body, and like being really you know in tune. Like, I have to work out, I have to eat right, I have to drink water, I have to do this. So in high school, actually, we had like uh like those classes that don't like really count, like it's like a passing class, but it's not really like super important. So I did like
Yeah.
women's fitness, so that was like my first like introduction to the fitness world, as you could say.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
women's fitness, they did like yoga, cardio, aerobics. And what was really cool is that with my membership for school, I was able to use it like on weekends. So I was like going to the gym, trying to stay healthy. I'm a music theater kid. So like we were always at rehearsals all day long.
Yeah.
And, everybody would eat crap, like go to Wendy's, go to Burger King, McDonald's, myself included. Like,
Yeah.
so you really had to keep moving your body. So that's why I really like musicals, and we were dancing and like really moving, and show choir and everything. But then when I got to college, the freshman 15 happens to everybody, right?
Right.
So I had horrible skin. I was eating awful. But it wasn't until like my junior, senior year that I really was like, all right, enough is enough. Like, I need to take this weight off. I got to do this. So I met a girl who was like all into weight loss, and like she was trying to really lose weight, and she was doing really well. And she like came home from the summer and she looked amazing. So me and her would go to the gym like all the time. And that's when I really started eating like a lot of vegetables, a lot of
Yeah.
protein, a lot of water. I mean, drinking water. Obviously, I'm a singer, so I'm always drinking water. That was like a
Yeah.
huge staple. I never was a soda drinker or like a tea drinker, maybe like an iced tea every now and then, but that was it. Like more water. But
Yeah.
alcohol is really where my downfall came from. Like alcohol, eating crap, the whole college experience. So then when I came out of college, I was, living on my own, starting my life as a music therapist, trying to pass my exam. That was a huge added stressor to me. Trying to date, trying to find somebody to like be my person for the rest of my life. And everything was just like a roller coaster, up and down, right? So then in 2016, actually my sorority sister reached out to me, and her dad is Jimmy the Butcher in our company. He's a big, huge. Yeah. So Kristen,
cool.
was like, you got to join, you got to, this is what we have, Google my grandfather, yada, yada, yada. So I Googled him, and I was like, oh my God. And I knew about network marketing because like I said, since I was 12, I grew up in network marketing. So I knew about the lifestyle, everything that I wanted for myself on the financial side, of course, and the lifestyle side. So Kristen was like, check out my grandfather. But my girlfriend was doing it too. It was really near and dear to my heart, very close to me. So I joined with her in 2016. I lost 32 pounds doing a 30-day on our 30-day system, lost 32 pounds, cleared up a lot of my skin. We're not a medical company, the whole compliance, everything. But like, I truly believe what we're putting in our body makes a difference, right? So I was somebody who always struggled with acne, had to take medicine, everything. And then when I got into Isogenics, this family that we're all in, that's when my whole health changed for the better and never looked back. Then in what happened in 2020, I had like a heartbreak because, girls. So it was like a big heartbreak. Like I hadn't had a heartbreak like that since I was like 16, 17, right? So I was like just shot. Like I was just not myself, my self-worth, my esteem, everything. We were on 2 different pages, like miscommunication all over. And it was just a nightmare. So I was like eating horrible. The pandemic's happening at this point. Like it was just really bad. So then I was like, enough is enough. Like I need to get back on what I'm doing. My job situation was like in the shitter. Can I curse? Like it was just bad. Like I couldn't like work as a music therapist anymore because in New Jersey, they're making it mandatory to be certified. So I like lost all of my clients. That's something I'm working on currently. And I just had to like start all over again. So like had no money for like anything, but I started slowly, and I was, doing whatever I can. And the ER shred came into light. My mom's actually the one who told me about it. She like texted me. She goes, did you see this ER shred thing? Dr. Ina was talking about it. And she like said to me, and I was like, we watched the whole movie, Fat Fiction, everything. And I was like, I'm in. What do we have to do? So I did it. My mom and I did it. Yeah, we did it together. Actually, it's so funny because I messaged you. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I messaged you on Facebook, and I was like, can we add pepper? And you were like, why can't you just do it the way that it is? Like in your message. And I sent it to my mom. I showed her. I said, see, you can't add pepper. It's only salt, butter, the Cleanse for Life, the shakes. Like, that was it. Because when I do something, I go like 100%. I'm a Sagittarius. Like who I am. So like I went 100% all in, and I was like, I'm going to crush this. I'm going to do this. And I did. I did the first one, and I was like, holy shit. Like all of the inches that came off, all of the pounds that came off, I never felt better in my clothes. Like I was borrowing my mom's clothes because at the time she was smaller than I was. Like she had 10 pounds to lose too, but I was like using her clothes, my sister's clothes, because my sister's like a hardcore like Peloton and she was into weight loss too. But when she had her children, keto is really what helped her get back on her world. But finding this ER shred lifestyle has just been an absolute game changer for my health. And now I know exactly like what to eat. Like I said, in 21, I did my first one, and then I did another one. It was like back to back because I got the first results, and then I went, and that was February. And then same guy, same drama, 22 was a mess. And now I just did my most recent ER shred, and obviously I'm not looking back. So I learned a lot of lessons along the way, food being one of them, and like what to eat, what not to eat, and when to move my body, when not to move my body, when to do yoga, when to walk, when to run. Hiking is a big part of my ex relationship that we did, was a lot of hiking, a lot of traveling. So I was constantly moving my body, and I love that because I grew up dancing. So like dancing was fun for me, like ballet, tap, and jazz, that's where I would go do my exercise. And then I played soccer up until high school. because then
Yeah.
theater took over, theater and music, and I tried out for soccer, but I didn't make it. It was whatever. So I just did, music and theater, and that's where like my movement was from, like dancing, really, because I like hated to run. But when I did go to the gym, I would do the elliptical, I would do the Stairmaster. Love the Stairmaster. I would do classes. I love bar classes. That was a lot that I did during the pandemic. One of my friends, Lauren Shapiro, I know she's going to be watching. She totally introduced me to the world of bar class. And I love bar class, and I still do that yoga. Thank God for like YouTube. You can go on there, type in bar class, and do it in your own personal space in your house. So thank you, Lauren, for showing me bar classes. She's amazing. And yeah, I mean, that's been it. And like I know what to eat. I love ice cream. I love sweets. I mean, who doesn't, right? So I know in moderation, I can have this, but I can't have this. I can do this. I can do this. One big thing was like, dairy really was a trigger for me. You know how Dr. Ina said to start bringing back in foods in that video. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. That made a difference for me. So like, I love to cook anyway. I grew up cooking. My mom taught me how to cook at a young age. So I'm always creating concoctions of sweet, fun treats. So I can, still have what I love, but not, have the bad stuff that's going to like upset my stomach or my skin or just make me feel like crap and bloated, and food. I also have my health and wellness license too. I got that a while ago. It was like a few years back. I had a friend who was getting in, me and her did it together, but that really started to, move the needle for my weight loss. Cause I was already doing like 30 days all the time. I did about, I think it was 6 months. I did 30 days to get to my results. And then the ER shred just magnified everything. So that's my story of health and weight loss. And it's mindset at the end of the day. It's mindset.
That's a lot.
And motivating yourself too.
Yeah. So if anybody had any question on whether or not you can possibly gain any energy from doing this, I think Breana just answered that question for everybody. Your energy level is amazing. I love it. There's so much in there that I want to poke at and unpack. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Ask away.
So one of the things that I picked up on is, through my years of coaching, I kind of hear the same patterns, right? Over and over and over again. And I look for them, to obviously make my coaching better and be able to identify things with people. And one of the things I heard from you is a common story where you grew up with this really love of food. I mean, especially in an Italian family, there's 6-7 course meals. It just seems, I've had those. It seems like it never stops coming, right? And it's about laughter, and it's about bonding, and it's about stories, and right, the hands are flying.
Oh, yeah, you have to raise your hand to be heard.
There you go. So that creates an impression on people, right? Yeah. And I'm curious, as you were going through your journey, coming through when you started in high school and stuff, did you notice that the times that you kind of like went on and went back, like, was it hard to break that connection with food? Like, did you find like food was comforting to you in time of stress?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially in high school, I had my first like big heartbreak, so that was like my first love. And I went to like ice cream and carbs. Mac and cheese is my favorite food in the whole entire world since I was a little kid. So like that was my big, comfort. Pasta, cheese, ricotta, cannolis, gelato, like all of it, like everything that we grew up eating. Like I love that. And, my grandma taught me how to cook. My mom taught me how to cook. So whenever, you're upset, like, let's make food, let's do this, let's make chicken cutlets, let's, like fry. And it wasn't until I got older, like after the health and wellness coaching, after college, that I realized, oh my God, we need to read ingredients. We need to do this. And my friend Amy, who was a big proponent in me joining Isogenics, she was a big, huge stickler for, reading ingredients and reading labels. And she educated me a lot. So I learned like, okay, no, buy this, not this. And I drove my family insane, absolutely insane. I still drive them because like they're all, complaining about being heavy or overweight. I mean, they're a lot better now, but I'm like, what are you choosing to put in your body? And I'm just as guilty. There's times where I was like, I don't care about the rules. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
But that's health and that's balance. And that's what I was saying on Sean's call. Food is a part of life. We're eating to live, not living to eat. And we celebrate food with events, and we celebrate foods with, birthdays and so on. And, but if you're doing it every day, then it's a problem. But if it's in moderation, it's okay. It's okay to have that ice cream. It's okay to have that mac and cheese. It's okay to do that, barbecue. But if you're doing it every day, then we have to sit back and unpack and be like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think the biggest shift is now? Because it sounds like now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm hearing is it sounds like you're now realizing the value of what food is really meant to be. This is how I view food today. This is how I viewed food for a very, very long time now, is that food is simply my ticket to energy and how I want to feel, right? Like food allows me to function properly, which then allows me to handle the tough things in life, get through crises and whatever. Whereas the old story that you were sharing with me, that's what it sounds like to me where you're at now, to where before it was, oh my gosh, life is hard. And I'm going to turn to this dopamine hit, right? I'm going to turn to this thing that I think makes me feel good.
Right.
Do you think you finally have come to the realization that what you thought was making you feel good was really just kind of putting you in a deeper hole?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now you make that point. I was going to say, like, I used to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. Now I eat when I'm hungry. I listen to my body. I'm more in tune. I'm not doing really breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think we've grown up in this society, obviously, where, you have to eat breakfast, you have to eat lunch, you have to eat dinner, you have to follow this. No, you don't. You have to eat what makes your body feel good. And when your body starts to feel bloated, or acne starts coming out on your body, or, you got a weird rash or something, that's indicator like, all right, what's going on with my gut? Like, I'm so in tune so much more than I ever was. And like, I'd rather eat an avocado, like when I'm stressed out, or like raspberries, or, coconut. I get like the coconut cream and like mix it up and add raspberries and chocolate and make my own ice cream. Like, it's really just being, mindset and in tune to what you're doing. And I see the difference, I feel the difference in my body, but I listen. I'm like, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. I'm not just eating to eat anymore.
Say. What do you think has been the biggest difference in you kind of explain this as being this magnifier, right? Like this just like took your results that, were going and they were good. And then like, what made you use that word?
Because it worked. I think it worked. Like, I got amazing results in isogenics, of course, but I felt like I got a lot leaner. I got a lot of that belly fat off that I was trying to get off. I got a lot of those like sticky pounds, those pounds that I just kept trying to get off. Like, I just feel leaner. My body feels just lighter. I feel better in my clothes. I think my physique, like my self-esteem feels better. My self-worth feels better. Because I was with somebody all the time who would like pick at certain things that I was doing, or like, and that was in my mindset and in my conscious, my subconscious. And now it's just a lot better. Like, I feel a lot healthier in my clothes.
Yeah. Is there a connection, do you think, Breana, between the feeling, healthier, more confident, sexier in our own skin and our clothes to the confidence of like, how you're saying like, I'm good on my own now. Like I don't need this. Like I'm happy with myself. Like that seems like another level of self-love to me, that a lot of people struggle with. Like I have to coach for a long time to get people to that self-love place to where it's like, no, like it's okay. Like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like even if I like so-called mess up, or even if I so-called slip, like I think we just kind of beat the hell out of ourselves for no reason a lot.
Right. No, totally. And that's like you're saying, the self-love piece 100%. Like, one comment that was said to me was, I want somebody who doesn't eat. And for me, that was like, I do eat, but I'm eating healthy. And if I have a moment where I want to throw down, I'm going to, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Now that I've done all the work and I've done the healing and I've done the inner, but like,
what would have happened before? What would have happened before? What happened before when you didn't do the work?
I would be like crying and upset and probably eat more crap, and like go get McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
You
What would
know?
you say to somebody, Bree, that's in that tough place? Because that place that you're talking about of crying and um, I really try to get people to eventually think of it as like self punishment. Really, is what we're
Yeah.
doing. I mean, we don't think we're doing it, but
Yeah.
when you look at what the reality is of what we're doing, like when we're shoving shit in our mouth because we're depressed and we're stressed and we're already not functioning, like we're just adding like kerosene to that fire. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
we're really
Yeah.
creating it. Like,
Yeah.
so what would you say to that person that's stuck there now, that doesn't feel good, that doesn't feel confident, that doesn't think that there's hope for them? Right. I mean, you're
Mhm.
somebody who was there, and now it sounds like, I mean, again, we're not saying you're perfect and you don't make mistakes and all that stuff, but I
Right.
mean,
Of course.
you're showing up pretty damn confident these days. I mean, it's very obvious, so
Thank you.
bravo.
Thank you. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
you're
I mean,
welcome.
it's a lot. It's an internal battle because you hear all the shit that's been said to you in the past, and then family members are saying shit to you, or people that you thought loved you and cared about you and accepted your
Ooh,
flaws the way you
yeah,
accepted theirs,
that's
and
a
they're not.
hard one.
So really,
Yeah,
I had to dig deep, obviously, and thank God, truly, to network marketing, the community, the support, the culture, all the people I've met, all the friendships I've created. Those are the people I go to. Like, I am
yeah,
not an introverted person. I'm
yeah,
100% extrovert. I love having conversations with people. I love connecting with people. I love hearing other people's perspectives. So when
yeah,
I call and I'm crying and I'm venting, I'm listening to what they're saying, and
yeah,
one big proponent, Amy, love you. Like, she's my
yeah,
girl, my bestie, big sister, everything. She's like, get a journal, write everything you want in a journal.
yeah,
And that was like
yeah,
my intro to manifestation and
yeah,
meditating and really getting a clear mindset. And my
yeah,
sister even said, like, when I was in this relationship, she's like, you're not yourself. She's like, what happened to like that positive, optimistic person? Like, always, was getting it done. Like, and you don't realize it when you're with the wrong person. You change and you don't even see it. Other people see it. And it took a while. It took 4 years for me to realize that I was in a
yeah,
shit show of living with
yeah,
this, of being with this person, not even living, just being in this relationship with this person that I thought was like everything,
yeah,
And so now I'm unpacking it all and I'm like, I'm not going to accept that. I'm never going to accept that. I'm never going to accept that again. Like, I'm never going to do
yeah,
that again. Like,
yeah,
and I write in my journal and I write what I want. I'm constantly listening to podcasts. I'm constantly listening to, you know, meditation guru, like whatever you want to call
yeah,
them,
yeah,
rah
yeah,
rah, whatever. But like,
yeah.
it got me out of a bad place. And one of them was Gabby Bernstein. I love her. And
She's amazing.
she's fantastic. And her
Yeah,
story was so inspiring, and I was like, I don't want to stay here. And
yeah,
music 100% is the other thing. I don't know if you've seen any of my feed, but like, or my music page, like, I'm a singer songwriter. I've been singing since I was 5, and
yeah,
writing my life on paper through music, has been so therapeutic.
yeah,
And, it wasn't until I was 17, and Taylor Swift, love her. She's another big one for me
yeah.
that helps me get through shit. But I learned guitar, and that's when my music really took another
Oh
level.
my God, we're gonna have to.
Harmony
I
took
should have
another.
had you. I should have prepared better and had you like come with your guitar and song.
Oh yeah, right. I know, that'd been fun. We could do another one. There's time.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
But that's
so
why I got to
what?
music therapy, because it's music and psychology, and I've always been fascinated with psychology. My mom's a psych major. She has her master's. I grew up in that world of like, we need to be nicer to ourselves. We need to say sorry. My
Yeah,
mom made us say sorry every single time when we were kids, and
yeah,
always say I love you and good night. So
yeah,
like, that's how I grew up. And honestly, music is, it's my medicine. It's my
yeah.
way of coping with everything. And that's why I became
Yeah,
a music therapist.
so really finding something that can link to you, right? Yours is
Yeah,
music, mine is the love of beating the crap out of myself, aka hardcore fitness.
yeah,
Doing crazy races. Like that's my music to you. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So
totally.
that's a great tip. I heard a lot of things that I hope people caught. So I just kind of want to try to highlight and help me if I'm off here. But so one thing is finding the right community sounds like it's essential. I think a lot of people, really, unfortunately, get the wrong impression of a good network marketing company. And really what I found to be the best thing ever is it's like this endless journey of self-development that it's the best.
Absolutely.
It's the best learning experience ever. I mean, that's what I've taken away over my 8 years now of being involved with this. It's only gotten better and better. So if I can just implore you to not quit, like, it doesn't matter if you're making bazillions of dollars. That's not what it's about. It doesn't matter if, you know what I mean? Like you're just consuming the amazing freaking products that you can't get your hands on anywhere else. Like, you're still part of something bigger for whenever you're ready. And even if that's finding that one person that becomes that soul person for you, I mean, is that not worth the cost of literally your food? I mean, you're literally eating freaking food. That's all this is when you do it the right way. I mean, there are some shady freaking things out there, but I love that you're so confident in that. I love that you promote that. I too, like you, think it's one of the greatest opportunities on the face of the planet, because I also run traditional business, and I know that it's a shit show sometimes, and there's a lot of money up at stake. And with this, it's like you get so much extra. And that's what I love most about our ER Shred community, is that it's literally one of the most active, engaging communities that I've personally been able to be a part of. It's one of the things I tell Sean all the time that I'm super proud of that we have, because I know that having that community for so many people, again, just through the years of coaching and watching people, support is really the thing that people need. Accountability is really what people need, right? Like, you can have all the list and all the freaking foods you want, but that community and that accountability piece is something that's missing for so many people. Yeah. And you have it for free right here. And right. Journaling. I want to touch on that from a male perspective. I boohooed that shit for so many years. And then I also told myself that I would do it for so many years and didn't do it. And for the last almost a year now, I have been consistent with it. Literally every single morning, whether it's like something deep or it's just my morning intention, how I want to show up today. If I notice something that's amazing about that day, I want to write it down, because think about it, guys, like, you got nothing to look back on besides memory. And a lot of times your memory doesn't serve you well. I've learned that the hard way. And if you're just honest with yourself, like, it will change your life. There's so much research on this. There's so much psychology. Gabby Bernstein's amazing. A person that's really big on this is Brendan Burchard. I would highly recommend you go follow him. He is like one of the Mac Daddies of self-development. Him and Ed Milet, you can kind of go and get a lot of inspiration there as well. So I love that tip that you brought out. Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Especially for mindset guys.
Yeah, Mel Robbins is a new podcast, but she's she's one of the most respected. She was the most booked, highest paid female speaker in the corporate circuit, and then broke out to even bigger. I mean, she's just as real as it gets. So there's so much out there, guys, that if you're struggling, there's hope. There's hope. Yeah. But like Bree's telling you, like, it's okay if it's a shit show. And it's okay if you're crying, and it's okay if some days you feel beat up, and it's okay if it's not all perfect. Like, it's not supposed to be. And I think we set this like fake intention. Like, I just had a friend of mine, Bree, the other day. He's like, I'm trying to help him get back going. And again, he's like, I got all the tools. I know what I need to do. I got to go 7 hard again. Like I was training before. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you're living life. You have some emergency situations going on. You got 0 that you're doing right now, and you want to go from 0 to hero and go from 0 to 7 days. Like, is that even realistic? Like, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So be realistic with yourself. Get yourself that community. Tap into things. Educate yourself. I love what you said too, Bree, about, again, psychology will show you in studies that our brains are really not in our favor, right? Like if you
Right.
really
Oh,
understand
totally.
how your brain
Yeah.
works, you're going to come up with 20 negative thoughts, 20 bad things that you will think up to one positive thought. So if you got to protect what you're allowing to go in every day. And you brought up family members and significant others, and listen, I'm just going to shoot real with people because that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Those are some of the biggest SOBs on the planet. And it's not because they don't love you, and it has not, it's because they do, and they're nervous
Right.
because
And they're worried.
they're worried because
Yep.
they don't know either, right? And I promise you, if you can get through that and you can lead the way, you have the opportunity to radically shift the imprint of your entire family, because once you show something, there's no longer that talk anymore, right? Once you're strong enough to break through, so you have the opportunity to be that person in your family. So I think it's just important to highlight that. So these are all things that I pulled from you, Brie, that I just wanted to really, I don't know if
Yeah,
I forgot any, but
definitely.
I pulled so much that I just really wanted to highlight for people, so they could hopefully take notes or, really just kind of
Yeah.
relate to it. Did I miss anything key, do you think?
No, I mean, it's totally, I truly believe when you do what you're loving, your life is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So if you surround yourself with the people that make you feel
Yeah.
amazing, the people that make you feel good, the people that give you the tough love, but in a way that isn't hurtful or harmful to you. And
Yeah.
by doing the work, and the work for me
Yeah.
is my Jesus calling every day, my meditating, and my journaling. Like that's my work, and my songwriting. Like when I'm upset, I grab my guitar and sit down and I write. And that's how I let
Yeah.
out crap going on in my body and going on in my
Yeah.
mind. And I'm
Yeah.
constantly saying, so I had an old roommate before the pandemic happened, or when the pandemic happened, we were still living together. And she was just graduated psychology, got her license, was working. And this was the first time I was upset over dude. And we just broken up. And she used to say to me, she's like, what calms you down? She's like, what do you like? Do you like water? Do you like clouds? Do you like something? And I said, clouds. And she said, okay, you say, my thoughts go out on clouds. My thoughts go out on clouds. My thoughts go out on clouds. And I did that every night to sleep because I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
brokenhearted and upset. Our minds
Yeah.
truly rule our reality if you let them. So you need to be stronger than your mind. You need to sit in the front of the mirror. You need to tell yourself affirmations. It works. I am in such a better place than I was 4 years ago. Like I
do love that. I want to make a caveat too that some people, Bree's sharing what's worked for her. There are situations that are more intense. And I want to say that if you feel that you can't break free, you can't use any of these tools, there is also nothing wrong with therapy, right? I think therapy has this,
I'm a huge proponent for therapy.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed my life. Like it's it has this stigma of being bad, and I'm telling you, finding the right person, an outside person that doesn't have emotion connected and attached to your life, that can just hear you and help you work through things and get yourself to that better place. Like do that for yourself if you need that. Hire a coach if you need a coach. Like this is what it's for, so I think that's important too. So okay, so here's the next thing I'm curious on. You studied health and wellness, you got your certification, right? Obviously, I don't know what course you took or what was taught or what they did, but if it's anything like what I went through and learned, it's kind of the standard Western way, right? That we did, that you were doing, that you can get results with, right? I know, before I started, I mean, I had great results and I wasn't doing it this way, but there were things that were off that didn't make sense. Like if I was like supposedly being as healthy as I possibly could, why was I still sluggish? Why was I still having irregular bowel movements? Why was I still feeling bloated? Why was I still, dependent on coffee so late in the day, right? Like there was these questions that were in my brain.
Right.
So what have you kind of now noticed to be the biggest differences, like the biggest aha moments of learning when it comes to food and nutrition, on what is like ideal for fueling the human body necessarily as what we might think that might be. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
like I said, Fat Fiction changed my life after watching that movie. Fat, guys, fat is great for you. That makes my energy amazing for the day. And reading labels. When I don't read labels and I eat shit that is something that I didn't read the label on, I feel like crap. And that's because it's all processed. It all has additives that you don't need in your body. And your body is fighting you and saying, no, this is why I'm bloated. This is why this is breaking out. This is why I feel tired all the time and sluggish and have a headache and feel like crap. Because the stuff in our world in America, I just think it's so funny that in America we're eating this stuff, but you go overseas and I can eat prosciutto for a month and I feel amazing. I've been to Italy twice. I love it. Why don't I feel like crap? Because it's the way that our food is being processed here in America. And it's up to us to read the labels and the ingredients. It might take you a little longer to food shop, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. And high fat.
Do you notice though, like, are you now like in, like, once you kind of do the initial work, the initial leg work, right? Like once you figure out like, okay, this is really how much protein I need. And you might need to track how many grams of protein you get per day for a week or maybe even 2 weeks, right? But then there's a place where it's like, you kind of get comfortable, right? Like now it's like, do you even like waste any time with that? Or do you pretty much know, like you can go real quick and be like, yep, nope, like just go through?
Yeah, no, absolutely. In the beginning, it was a process and learning and figuring out like, okay, my body reacts really well to that, but my body doesn't react really well to that. So like, I know that fish and avocados, chicken, steak, bacon, like I'm good with all that. And I just mix it up. And eggs, I eat eggs like every single day. Yep. Like I had a client who always made fun of me. She was like, are you going to go home and have eggs and sausage or bacon? And I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So like, you know, or if I want a shake, I have our shakes. Like I have options, but I know what to use and I know what not to use. I know what to eat. I know what not to eat. I know when I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. It really is just mindset and listening to your body and being in tune. And really, like you said, ignoring the crap. I call it tune out the noise. If you look at all my posts, tune out the noise. That's my thing. Yeah. Like, you know, tune out the noise. It's never too late to be brand new. T Swift, love that lyric. This is the stuff I live by personally because it's what helps me motivate me through my day and get through my day. And I have a conversation with myself. I'm like, we're not going to go there. We're not going to do that. Like you're better than that. You can do this, you know, but that's who I am. And like I said, therapy is great. I was in therapy a long time. Like I love therapy. I'll go for it. But you have to do what works for you. And what works for me is checking in with my family. Love my immediate family, like my blood, love them. My ISA family, Amy, Bonnie, Lauren, everybody, love you all. MJ, newest on my world in my network marketing, ISA, ER Shred, everything. Like I love them and I talk to them about everything. And I'm so grateful that I found people like me. You know what I'm saying? Like for so long, I mean, I'm one of three. I grew up in the military, just backstory. You know, I was always doing my own thing. I got the name Breezy D when I was a kid and we were running around in Japan because I was always in my own little world, you know, but that's just who I was. And then as I got older, you know, I figured out like what makes me happy and what I do, like to be with and get along with these people, you know, realize that I'm an extrovert and I like being with people. But it's what people you're being with, what people are influencing you. What is the words that you're hearing constantly? That's when you have to take a step back and be like, no, this is toxic. I can't do this anymore. And that was, you know, what happened. So, you know, I deserve the best. I deserve to be treated like gold and my body deserves the best and to be treated like gold. And so does my mind. That's what that's what I strive for every day. And I start my day with my journal, obviously, but 10 gratitudes every day, 10 gratitudes.
I love
it. You know, when you think you have it hard, somebody has it harder. And especially in the field that I work in, there's stories that I could tell you that would make your heart break and cringe, you know, and somebody has it harder than you have it, you know, and that's the mindset I have every single day. And that I eat to live. I don't live to eat, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I love how you phrased it of I deserve to have the best, feel the best, fuel the best. I love that mindset, right? I was screaming that from the day that we started this thing is that, you know, here's why you deserve to do 11 days. It's really simple.
Absolutely.
You just freaking deserve it. Like that's literally all there is to it. Like You freaking deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to have your mental clarity. You deserve to have quality sleep. You deserve to have healthy skin. You deserve to not feel like crap in the middle of the day, so that way you can come home and be a good mom and a good dad and a good spouse and a good boss and a good employee. Like, you freaking deserve to feel awesome. Like, that's why, right? Like, if you can keep it that simple and be like, that's your driving force, I think that's so powerful, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get tempted all the time, you know? I mean, I do. Like, I'm normal. I think people think I'm like abnormal or something, but it's like, I get tempted by the donuts, Brie. I get tempted by the smell of those freaking cinnamon buns in the coffee shop. I get tempted by a lot of things, right? And I'm like, and sometimes I'll eat it because I just freaking feel like it, right? But most of the time is I'm like, Jesse, do you really deserve to feel the way that you know you're going to feel after? Like, do you want to feel like crap for the next 45 minutes? Like, do you want to crash from all this sugar? Do you want to feel sluggish? Like, do you want that? And a lot of the times, if I just literally ask a simple question, Brie, it's such a powerful shift, right? Where it's like, maybe not, right? And then I pass. And then I pass. And if I can do that like 7 times in a row, and then one time I say, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of that. Like, bingo, right? Like, now we're talking balance. Like, now we're talking like figuring things out, you know? But really the main driver is because you deserve it. I think that's really so powerful. If people can hinge on to that, and step into that every day. You know, it could be something that simple, that small, that could radically shift your life. It's just, you deserve to wake up and feel jacked up every day.
Right. No, absolutely. Simple. Absolutely. And you can give yourself, I know what helps me, honestly, is I like to give myself like a guide, like a time frame, like, all right, during the week, I'm going to eat like really clean. And then on the weekend, I live at Jersey Shore. Like, of course I'm going to have a cocktail. Of course I'm going to, like, you know, have steamers or crabs or something. I mean, like covered in butter, whatever it is, you know, but I'm not going to feel bad about it. You have to stop feeling bad. That's when everything starts to shift.
Yeah. Do you know, I mean, I think when people start feeling bad, it just, then you get into the habit of like, oh, well, like, why don't I just do more? Like, what's the big deal? Right. Like, you get into like one of those negative spirals, and then you get into trouble, right? Where if you can learn how to pattern interrupt that with some of these tricks that Bree's saying, or that I just shared with you, like, just ask yourself a question, you know, like, be your own best coach. Like, start freaking believing in what you say. Start believing in those feelings. Start believing in what your body's telling you. I think that's a big shift too, is just like, you do know. Like, I really do believe that most people know. I've always said ER Shred's not this magical thing. It's the magical tracks. It's the tracks that take your derailed freaking train, put you back on the right tracks. We put the bumpers on so that way you have room to wiggle as you go. But eventually you get to that point where it's like, now you're like Bree, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you're rolling, you're rocking. But again, remember, that takes work. That takes time. It's a journey. You know, don't just look at her now and be like, oh, it's so easy for you. Because no, like, that's not fair. You know what I mean? You can't compare yourself to her a year ago, or now, when she's had this whole year, you know, to go. And really, it's been a whole lifetime, right, Brie? Like, it's, you've taken lessons from each failure, and realize things that don't work for you. And then, you know, we move on. And then, you know, that's kind of the journey of life, right? That's why we should experience it and appreciate that. It's because each new thing, whether it's taking you to exactly where you want or not, it really still can be another brick to that wall, and it's going to keep building and building and building until you eventually get where you want. The biggest trick is just don't quit. You know what I mean? And that's, again, community, people, finding your thing. You know, like you said, like, you'll pick up your guitar and sing a song. Like, I'll take my freaking barbell and load some plates and pick up some heavy shit. Like, that's just what you know what I mean? That's what I do. Like, find your thing that allows you to get that energy out, learn how to disperse it, learn how to get it to work for you. And there's all these things that you can do. So that's awesome. So for you now, I mean, would you say with food, a lot of people say, ER Shred, we eliminate and then we reset, and when we do first start, we strip it all down. I mean, it takes the guesswork out. Like, we strip it out. We allow you to get yourself to baseline. And then from there, you build this blueprint that Bree's talking about. Like, that's the path to this program. And you're always tweaking, and you're always going, and you're always finding new things, and your body's changing, and it's going to change rapidly, especially as you start losing weight and your taste buds start changing and all this stuff, and you'll notice new things. But what would you say? I mean, is your foods now, like, I think some people think like, oh, that's all I can do all the time. And I think you've touched on this, where it's like, no, you'll have a cocktail, you'll have this, you'll have that. But for the most part, your foods, I mean, would you say, like, for me, I mean, I got probably, I don't know, 30-ish foods, I'd say, that's in my circle that I know that I can freely consume. They don't give me issues. They don't give me problems. They fuel my body with energy. I mean, is that like, because I think some people think that we just do, like, you know what I mean? The basics, but
no, I mean, I still eat tacos. Like, I love tacos. That's like one of my go-to. I still eat that. Like, I pretty much just don't really do dairy as much as I used to. Dairy is really the biggest trigger for my body that made me just feel like crap. So I add coconut milk to everything. If I really want like mashed potatoes, I get cauliflower and I make cauliflower mash. It's a complete mindset shift. And it's like, do I really need potatoes? No. Do I want potatoes? Yes. But do I need them? No. It's really like having that conversation with yourself and saying like, do it. Like we've been saying, like, it's having radical responsibility and accountability for your health. So overall, I want to feel better. So I'm going to have cauliflower mash. But guys, I'm still going to go out. I'm still going to get a mashed potatoes every now and then. Like, just using that as an example. But my fridge is all veggies, avocado, eggs, bacon, sausage, salmon, shrimp, scallops. What else do I eat? I have fruit. I eat fruit all the time. Like, I love raspberries, peaches, clementines. I still have orange juice. Like, I still eat like everything that I basically ate, but pretty much dairy is what I pull back on, really. And if I really want to taste like, that dairy, I'll get heavy cream. That's really something that doesn't bother me as much. But like, and I'll make my own chocolate mousse, and I'll put strawberries and raspberries and some dark chocolate. I'll just break it up and put it on there. And I do that as a snack or dessert or treat every now and then. But I don't do it all the time. But I mean, I love cheese. Every now and then, who doesn't? Like Parmesan or mozzarella. So I still eat that. Like, I love a good charcuterie board. But it's really just how I'm feeling. I mean, as a woman, men's bodies are completely different from females. But we have our moments, my girls out there. So like, I get it. And you have to have like what you're craving in that moment. And I do, but not all the time, So
it's amazing. You actually just hit on something really important. It's you being able to tap. You're right. Women's bodies are obviously ridiculously different than men. We have one hormone pumping through us. You guys have multiple. You guys have multiple stages of every single month, and then there's pre and there's post and there's peri. I mean, there's a lot, right? But it's really, I love the fact that as you've progressed, you've been able to really dial in to these different moments and feelings of where you're at. That's allowed you to really, again, that comes from the confidence, the trust, the building, the whole story to where she's at. But she's so in tune where she's balancing, I mean, for her, she's sharing her foods. For me, it's a totally different thing. I mean, I eat cheese every single day of my life. I have lots of meat every single day. I don't do a lot of grain or flour or extra sugar. I'm not a fan of alcohol personally, but do I think that you can use it because there's that social connection? Yeah, for sure. There's responsibility in that. So that's the beautiful thing about this too, for those of you that might have that question, is like, you know, again, the system is basic in the beginning, but once you start to get to your place where you've got your body in check, things are moving in the right direction, you're stimulating lean muscle, you're losing body fat, all these things are clearing up. This is the hope piece, right? Like this is where it goes, and it's such a wide, you know, cone, because everybody is so different. That's why it's so ridiculous to say like this is going to work for every single person, you know, in your blueprint, because your food could be somebody else's poison, right?
Right.
You know, if you did as much dairy as I do, because I thrive on it, you would probably be hurting. I mean, it's what it sounds like, right? I know for Sean, he can't eat apples and he can't do whatever. And I'm like, man, I love a good apple. I love a good pear. You know, I still utilize certain carbohydrates because I'm an endurance athlete. So I need that extra energy, and I figured out my body. And that's what this can do for people is, those tracks allow you to figure things out and cool you off so you can even think straight in the first place, right? Like you got to be able to think straight and balance. And then from there, you know, you keep on moving through. So that's so beautiful. So Bree, is there anything else that's on your heart that you want to share with anybody? Any message that you have for anybody? I mean, we've touched on so many different things. I don't know if you had anything else that I maybe didn't ask you, or you felt that you wanted to share before we go.
No, I mean, I think we hit it on the head. I was just saying quinoa was another one. I used to love quinoa, but that's another one that, you know, makes me feel bloated and awful and inflamed. It's inflammation at the end of the day. But no, I think the biggest takeaway, I think, is to realize that you're not alone. If you ever want to reach out to me, please DM me. You can talk to me, whatever. Like, I'll have a conversation with you. I'm there for you. Never hesitate, you know, to reach out. I'm here. But find your people, find the people who listen to you, find the people who are genuine to you, because that's what's going to help you. And then at the end of the day, find something that lights you up and excites you to keep going and to keep motivating you. And just know you're not alone. And life is too short to be upset all the time or angry or pissed at yourself because you ate that ice cream or something. And I get it. If you have mental health stuff, I understand it could be a lot worse and a lot harder for you. And I'm not downplaying that in any way. But it's accountability at the end of the day, and moving the needle. You can't just stay in one spot. You got to try something else. You got to be open, and you got to move. Staying one spot's not going to help. So move, find something that lights you up, and just do it. Like, that's all I can say. Nike, just do it.
Love it. Yeah, amazing tips, Brie. Really, really appreciate you guys. If you want to learn more about ER Shred, what's up?
I said thank you for having me. It was great.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. If you want to learn more about ER Shred, ershred.com. If you want access to our free, our free community, ershredders.com. Hold on. I'm like choking on myself.
Yeah.
Hold it together, Jesse. ershredders.com. It's free. Answer 3 simple questions. Be a fly on the wall. I would highly recommend you go up to the thing that says guides. We have spent hundreds of hours and put so many free resources there for anybody to look at. All the documentaries that Bree was talking about are there, the books that you can read, previous calls. We have these calls. We have mindset calls. We have Wednesday calls of testimonials where you'll see people in their mid-80s all the way down to children. Every walk of life has done this. I mean, it's been a journey now. We're talking about thousands of lives that have been radically shifted. This isn't some pseudoscience crap anymore. This isn't some whim. We know that it can radically shift lives. We know that if you give it a shot, it can help you get on that track. And I really, really hope you do. So do me a favor, drop into the comments. Let us know what you took away from Bree. What tips are you going to be implementing? If you have any questions for either of us, drop them into the comments below. We appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.